Dwayne from Hognose Hogs, back with another video, and this is going to be the conclusion to my breeding updates for the 2021 season. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all know that I've been dealing with a lot of stress, and this season has basically been a failure. But I have learned a lot, and I'm basically going to go through the whole ordeal and let y'all know where everything is standing right now. So I only bred one female hognose snake this year. Her name is Tofu. She's an anaconda, possible Arctic, and I bred her to my super Arctic anaconda. So everything went well. I broodmated her for 3 months. Actually got her eating twice a week. She didn't have a pre-ovulation shed. She had a pre-lay shed. A week later, which was last Saturday, she started laying eggs. So I woke up last Saturday, 7:30 in the morning, opened up her lay box, saw 2 eggs in there, left her alone. Around 3 p.m., checked back up with her again, noticed that she didn't lay any more eggs, and I was seeing her contracting and trying to push, but nothing was coming out. And I just kept checking her in a sneaky way to where it wouldn't startle her and she wouldn't notice that I was looking at her. And then later that night, around 9 o'clock, I really started getting worried. I noticed that she still hasn't laid any more eggs. And so that's when I started really trying to figure out, okay, she may be egg bound. I need to find a vet. And the bad thing about vets are most of the time they're either closed on Saturdays or they close early. And started looking around. I found a 24-hour vet, and I called them and just to see what type of vet that they had on staff that night. And they told me that they had an exotic specialist. I asked the receptionist, hey, can you ask him, does he have any experience with snakes and egg binding? He says he does. I didn't want to wait till the next day. I was like, since he's working overnight tonight, I'm going to take her in and see if he can do something. And so took her in. He gave her an injection of oxytocin, which will help her start contractions again. He told me to give him a call in the morning if she doesn't lay any more eggs. Fast forward the next morning, woke up, she didn't lay any more eggs. She wasn't really moving too much. I didn't see any contractions. I didn't see her pushing. So I gave him a call, went back up there at 8 a.m. Went back up there expecting to see the same vet that I saw the previous night, but he told me that he was going to be there, or the receptionist said he was still there. But I saw a different vet. They did an x-ray on Tofu, and for some reason, the lady said, I don't think she's egg bound because I don't see any eggs on the x-ray. And so it was kind of confusing to me because I was like, if she doesn't have any eggs, she laid 3 eggs actually yesterday, and look how swollen she is. She obviously has eggs. The vet said, I can't see them on the x-ray, so there's really nothing I can do. You just want to monitor her. So it's kind of PO'd. I left there. Later that night, I gave Tofu a warm bath, or I just ran like warm water in a tub, let her soak in it, and I was able to push out an egg. It was a slug, a bad egg, and it was already like burst open. So after I did that, I was like, okay, maybe she can start pushing out the rest of them. And so Monday morning came, she didn't lay any more eggs. And so this is pretty much the time where I was about to give up. And I was like, okay, if she doesn't, I tried massaging her again that Monday, tried to push more eggs out, but her eggs were so high up that I couldn't get any more out. And so I was like, you know what, if she doesn't push any eggs out tonight, Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to get her euthanized. I'm tired of her, you know what I'm saying, suffering. None of these vets can help me. And I was just like, I'd rather just take her out of her misery because it doesn't look like any of these eggs are going to come out. So what I didn't tell anybody is that Tuesday morning, I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. That Monday night, there's a reptile breeder. He breeds mostly ball pythons, carpet pythons, and boas. His name Dave Palumbo. He actually lives in my city. I sent him an Instagram message asking him what vet does he use for his snakes. And so fast forward to Tuesday morning, I woke up and I drove to that 24-hour vet to get her euthanized. And for some reason, I got there like 5 o'clock in the morning. Nobody was out there in the parking lot. And I thought they were 24 hours, but they actually didn't open Tuesday until 7 a.m. So I sat in my car for 15 minutes and I was like, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours. I'm just going to go back home and go to work. And then when I come back from work, I'll take her to get euthanized. Well, while I was at work, Dave Palumbo, he hit me up and he gave me a recommendation for a vet that he uses for his snakes. So I was like, you know what? I'm still got to go to the vet anyway when I get off of work. Let me just call this new vet and see if they can schedule an appointment for me. Maybe they can help me. So called the vet. The vet that he referred to me actually was busy, but they had another vet that had experience with snakes. So they had an appointment at 4 p.m. That was the only appointment that day. You know what I'm saying? So went to that appointment. This vet was a lot more helpful. What she did, she took x-rays, she did ultrasounds, she gave tofu an enema. They tried to massage some of the eggs out. She said she really couldn't see the eggs. She said that she saw something in there. And I did feed tofu on Sunday, and she said she did see some fecal matter, and she didn't know if what was in her was some of the mouse, you know what I'm saying, still being digested, or it could have been like egg yolk, because she said she did see fluid when they did like the ultrasound. So I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying. And then so she was also concerned that tofu may have peritonitis, which is the inflammation of like the lining outside of her stomach, and that could have been causing the swelling. And she was like, you know what, I'm not comfortable doing any more invasive procedures, but I do know this vet who is an intern, and he is the snake specialist down here. And I can give him a call right now if you want to set up an appointment, and I'll fax over all my results to him. And that vet was actually the vet that I originally wanted to go to, but he didn't have any appointments open till Friday. And so I was like, Friday is too late. So I was like, you know what? I set up an appointment. You know what I'm saying? I felt like she did a lot. They were helpful. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep tofu alive. So now, Wednesday morning, I woke up, checked in on tofu. I noticed that part of an egg was hanging out of her cloaca. She was actually trying to pass an egg. And I think the enema that they gave her really helped. So I was really excited about that. And I was like, when I'm about to go to work, whenever I get off of work, I'm hoping to see all those eggs out. So then when I got off of work, checked in on her, that egg was still hanging out of her cloaca. All right, so today's update, as you can see, she's been trying to push out the last of the eggs. It looks like they're fused together. She actually started pushing this out early this morning. Came home today from work and it's still not out. It looks like it's connected. I pulled some of it out. And so what I'm gonna try to do is, as you can see, she's pushed it a lot further down. This is just the only little section left. I'm gonna try to help her finish pushing this out. As you can see, I got her soaking to try to loosen it up. And I'm gonna start all the way at the top and see if we can get all this stuff out without breaking it apart. So I was like, okay. And then I also noticed that the eggs were further down in her body. And so I started pulling on the egg, and I noticed that the egg was longer than I thought. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I think I can get this out. And I was thinking it was just one long egg. I thought they all fused together. So I was like, if I start pushing and pulling at the same time, maybe I can get it all out. But I kind of wanted to loosen things up, so I gave her another warm water bath, just to soak her up, loosen everything out. And because the eggs were further down, I was like, you know what? I'm about to get these eggs out. And I did. I didn't get it on camera, but I pushed the eggs out, man. Guys, I'm like shaking right now. I got all of it out. And look what was left in her. Look at that. She is finally done, finally not egg bound. Hip hip hooray. And as you can see, the eggs, they bound up. And as you can see right here, they look crazy, man. I don't know how many eggs these are, but you definitely can see that they're fused together. I got them all out. The next day, Thursday, I fed Tofu 2 mice. She ate it perfectly, and everything is looking good. So that was my story of dealing with egg binding on my first ever breeding. So some of the things that I've learned, because I've learned a lot. One, I had multiple hognose breeders reach out to me on Instagram, and I started to realize that egg binding is a lot more common than I realized, especially with first-time breeders. One breeder reached out to me and said he had 3 females this year that dealt with some form of egg binding, whether it's egg binding or it took the female multiple days to finish laying all of her eggs. So that's comforting to me that, you know what, just because they don't get all the eggs out the first day doesn't mean that they may not push them out in the next coming days, because a lot of times they get tired of pushing. And if you feed them, if you kind of massage them, usually they're able to get them out. And I also basically sat down on YouTube and watched every video on YouTube about egg binding. The guys from Snake Discovery, Brian Burchek, Kevin from Nerd, they have very good videos. I definitely recommend anybody that's planning to breed a colubrid or any snake to watch those videos, so you can have, you know what I'm saying, you can kind of see how it's done to help get those eggs out. And so going forward, I'm a lot more experienced, I'm a lot more confident, and I know this problem is gonna happen again, and I won't panic like I did this time. If I was to take it back, or if this was to happen again, for one, I would be a lot more patient. I would probably give the hognose maybe 3 days to see if she can push the eggs out on her own without messing with her. And then after that, I can do some kind of intervention. And so going forward, some of the tools that I'm going to invest in that I didn't have before, one is a probing kit. I seen Brian Burchek use the probe to actually pop the egg and pull the egg out of the snake, and he made it look pretty easy while he pushed it. Also, I'm going to invest in some mineral oil, because I do feel like that enema really helped loosen everything up and help the snake pass those eggs. And I'm also going to invest in some syringes, some 16 gauge syringes to administer the oil into the cloaca. And that was one thing that I could not find. Like, where do you get syringes from? I went to Walmart and they said that their pharmacy, they say that you can't get a syringe unless you have an insulin prescription. So I'm going to order all that stuff probably on Amazon just so I can have it, just in case this occurs next breeding season. But that's pretty much it, man. Everything is good now. She's eating all the eggs out. Hopefully this video will, you know what I'm saying, help anybody that's going through this or will go through this. Like, it's gonna happen if you breed hognose snakes or rat snakes or corn snakes or ball pythons. And don't panic. It isn't a death sentence to your snake. Find somebody that's experienced. I recommend reaching out to other breeders, because a lot of veterinarians never dealt with this issue. And hopefully y'all can have success in helping your snakes release those eggs if they're bound up. So appreciate y'all for watching yet another video. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below. You can also follow me on my other social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. And I'll see y'all for the next video.